The tale starts with a fight scene in an unknown place. Monsters were attacking. Blades clashed as valiant warriors engaged in a fierce battle against the onslaught. Finally, they defeated the S-class giant Lord Mantis monster, as expected of the Knights of Heaven. People are cheering. Master Lu is so handsome. Lu said now the game values have finally stabilized. As you can see, this is a huge game, but unlike other games, this game is based on the real world. These portals lead to worlds filled with various magical creatures. They are called jungles. After speculative explorations of the jungles, it was concluded that the jungles, while dangerous, can't interact with the real world. You know the words, nothing in the jungle can we pass through the portal, including the magical items and powers that the explorers gain there. In the end, Shenchuang Technology Company claimed ownership over the jungles. With their cross-era technological capabilities, they transformed different worlds into a large-scale interactive game called Apocalypse Survival. In the game, after the player passes through a portal, he becomes a knight who has to survive in the other world. Although they might die in the jungle, people who are bored with ordinary life flood onto the game to experience something different. Nowadays, most of the world's population has experienced life in the other worlds. Some rich people have even hired some braves to live in the other world. It's no longer a game, it's a work of art. And Lin Tian is one of the creators of this work of art. Liu Dalong, a direct descendant of the high-ranking executive behind Shenchuang Technology Company, is also a high-level warrior in the game. He came and asked Lin why the Mantis monster's data reverted. Did you do that? This adjustment wasn't approved by the company's decision-makers who authorized you to do it. He said all of this for the sake of game balance. The game is currently learning too differently from the values he would initially set. This might make the game uncontrollable. Liu grabbed his shirt and asked, "Since when do you get to dictate the company's actions? The company naturally has its own reasons for doing things. You just have to follow." Lin fended off and said, he is the person in charge of the entire game content. He had already adjusted the monster's design parameters, so he's afraid it won't be compatible if he modified them again. Liu narrowed his eyes and said, "Another man. In that case, it's up to you to change it. He wants to see the results he wants, and if he doesn't get them, no one gets off work." Another guy said, "I told you to not make random changes and just listen to what the superior says." The girl said this guy really thinks he is the boss. He is just adding to our workload. Liu said, and if you don't want to do it, you can ask for a resignation. Lin, in his mind, these people, their goal isn't to make a game that everyone loves at all. If I continue to work here, by that time, one girl whose name is Luo Yue said, "Senior, don't be impulsive." Lin said actually he is burdened with a debt of millions of dollars. If I lose this high-paying job, I'm afraid that I will be beaten to death by the collectors and be left to die on the street. But he realized one thing. Staying in this company, is it really safe? He has to think about it. Liu said, "You need to know who you are, but the company wants you to do and not do anything you should not." Then, in the next scene, Luo and Lin were working in the park. Luo said, "Thanks, Senior, for your advice. I finally understand where the problem lies." Lin said, "There is nothing wrong with your design itself. I'm just making a few comments." Luo said, "Don't say that. If it weren't for Senior help, she wouldn't have been able to get a foothold in the company. So she'd like to thank Senior for that. But it's really worrying that Senior was always fighting against the company like that. She was afraid they were going to do something bad to you. After all, it's rumored that the company has been using jungle to get rid of its rivals. It's really dangerous for Senior to frequent jungle like this." Lin said regarding that he would take care of it. Luo happily said, "Well, it's good that Senior understands. I will be heading back to work first." Lin thinks she's the only person in the company who he can talk to. She's the only light in his bleak world. Then he called Luo from behind. She asked Senior, "What's the matter? This company and even the world may be about to undergo big changes. You have to be careful." Luo listens with teary eyes. "But don't worry. I will definitely do everything in my power to protect you." After hearing this, Luo kissed him and said, "Senior, I believe in you. I'm sure you will be able to protect me." Yes, the company hides a secret that can change the entire world, which he has discovered by accident. But this was a reminder for him. Leaving the company will not only get him hunted down by debt collectors, it will even make it easier for the company to kill him. So he was in a hole he couldn't get out of. Senior or letter, he must be completely prepared. Then, the 76th meeting of the Shenchuang project started in the company. Many people and holograms of people were there. One holo guy said, "The Red Department has detected that the jungle is expanding. He is afraid they are very close to a big event. but there are still no signs of the jungle lord we covet. Liu said Lin Tian, who is in charge of the game's development, always overturns the values they propose. I think he may have seen something. The unknown lady said, yes, he already knows the real secret of the jungle. Another guy said, it's a secret that could turn the world upside down. People like him must not be allowed to know about it. Kill him before he can make preparations. That holo guy said to Lin Tian, I remember him. He is a very talented development engineer. In order to get him to work for the company, we had to go to great lengths to put his family in huge debt. Liu Daolong, it was your idea at that time. Now that he has become a nuisance, let the knights under your command take care of him. Just kill him in the jungle. Lin said, he had been waiting for this day for a long time. The next scene jumps to the jungle. What a miserable couple. Liu said he never expected that you would actually use your game privileges to create such a godly outfit for yourself. To think you'd make my knights face such heavy losses. If it wasn't for Luo, who forced you to make your presence known, it would have been a real challenge for me to find you. When did you start preparing? After you learned the secret? Or did you anticipate from the beginning that we'd get rid of you here sooner or later? But none of that matters anymore. Suddenly someone backstabbed him with a sword. Lin was shocked and helpless. She was Luo Yue. Why did it have to be you? And thus concludes this chapter. Stay tuned for the next chapter to uncover what unfolds next. While you wait, don't forget to explore my other videos and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to stay updated on future content. Thanks for your support.